Tractor is looking absolutely top notch. We're painting by numbers. I've got my screens wandering around. Right guys, welcome back to the channel, and for the first time in a very long time, the cab of the 155. So it is currently the 24th of February, and I'm just heading out with the Fert spinner for the first time this year. We're going to chuck a bit of single top on our barley, on our away ground. I'm also going to do some of the wheat at home today as well. It's been a long time coming, getting back in the tractor and doing some field work. I've got to remember how to use the Fert spreader. It is fairly simple. I've made sure it's all working, done all the calibrations and stuff on it, and various things, but until we actually go and use it, you never know. I'm excited to be back out in the tractor. I got my new mirror guards on, I got my new floor mat in, I got my little chrome bottle holder. I'll show you all that when we get up to the field. I've done a nice bit of modifying to the tractor, all aesthetic obviously, but just made it how I like it, seeing as I spend most of the time in here. So yeah, we'll get up to the field and we'll see about spreading some fertiliser. Right, we've made it up to our barley ground. If you look down here at the crop, really good looking crop I think at the moment. It's a little bit hungry, you can see there's the bits of yellow in it, but a dose of nitrogen here will soon sort that out. Tractor's behind me. First time it's been out in the field for a very long time. Got the weight block on the front. We've got our KRM M35W spreader on the back. Absolute beast of a thing. Love that spreader. Freaking awesome. Some of you would have seen we've got the new mirrors installed. We've also got the little... Had to put the little sticker JM Farming on there as well. Tractor is looking absolutely top notch. Was all washed and polished, but coming up the back lanes to get here has made it dirty already. So yeah, we're in the first field we're going to do now, and there's one just the other side of that hedge. There's about 6 hectares here altogether to do. So we'll jump on in the machine. There's 2 bags of Fert in there, that's all we should need. First thing, we've got a lovely new floor mat. Really easy to clean, so it's rubber, so you can take it out and pressure wash it, keep it nice and clean. Got the chrome bottle holder, so we've got window cleaner, jelly fresh, so this is just like air freshener. Smells incredible. So what I tend to do is just spray it on my knees, either corner. And if you like the smell of sweets, that is the one for you. And then we've got the fast wax, so that's what I use to polish up the tractor after washing it. The spreader is hopefully all set. I've had to change the vanes in it, so put on what we call E2 vanes rather than E6. We have to swap between various fertilisers. I think the single top and nitrogen is on the 2s, and then the heavier stuff, so like the granular, MOP, TSP, that sort of stuff is on the 6s. We've had a bit of a change around as well. We put the second screen up on that pillar a bit higher up. It did used to sit down there where the bottles are, but I just think there is more sort of in my eye line for when I'm going along, I can see it a bit easier. This is the home screen for the spreader. So we're going to be putting on 210 kilos of product a hectare here. We put in our cow factor, which is that one there. Currently got it in border mode, so we're doing around the headland. If I get out my little book here and find the right page for what we're spreading, which is this one, it will tell me here in border mode how fast to run the PTO up here. Look, so 540 most of the time, 425 in border mode. So that is worth knowing. I think we're all set up, ready to go on there. Fertiliser, single top, yep. Got to get back into the routine of doing everything now. I've got a bit of paperwork to do, and then we'll crack on. Right, I think we are all good. I've just done the headland. I've got to change a couple of settings on the machine when I do a headland, put it in border mode. But that all seemed to go to plan. We'll stick her into normal spread and see what happens. We'll just take it easy to start with. Section control should be working, which it is. Oh, I just love it when stuff works. I can't remember whether I run this in eco or not. Seems to be revving rather loudly for what we're doing. But yeah, basically on the KRM, the discs spin the opposite way on the headlands. They sort of chuck it up right beside you. So you have to run it at lower revs to not chuck it as far out your right hand side. And now we're on the long work. All I have to do is press stop on my screen. When I get to the end of my run, get on the tram line, find my next tram line, press start again whenever I want, and then when it gets to a piece of ground where it's not spread, or the map's not covered in, it will start spreading again. First field done. Handily enough, we got a little gate in the corner here. I can sneak through into the next field. You might be able to see, about there somewhere, it's a very yellow patch. That is very wet. We're going to have to avoid that, sort of do a circle around it, because I don't fancy getting stuck at 4 o'clock on a Friday afternoon. But if we just walk out into what we spread, you can now see the little prills or granules of single top everywhere. We marked the ground a little bit, but only on the tram lines. And this field's had the same tram lines now for 3 years, so this is the 3rd year it's been into Arable, and it's had the same tram lines for those 3 years. So we're just keeping the same area compact all the time. Both our spreader and sprayer are on 24 meters, so we can travel on the same tram lines all the time. Tom, who does the drilling for us, he knows when he comes to do it to put the same tram lines in. And then what it means is we can just lightly cultivate the ground in between, and he can just come on with his drill. He's got a 6 meter drill, so it works out perfect. And yeah, it's working well. What I did just spot here is a massive stone, which I don't suspect Jeremy will be too pleased with if he finds it with a combine. So we'll take that, put it in the hedge. I don't know if you can see over the hedge, one of our neighbours is out with his rolls, getting all his rolling done. There you are, stone. I don't know what you guys think. This is an incredibly cheap crop to establish. We come up here with the sprayer, put a really, really light coat of glyphosate on. I think it was, I don't even know if it was a litre a hectare of glyphosate or Roundup. We then, what we did first, sorry, was we pulled it up with the little Nardi cultivator that we borrowed from Amia, what we hired, waited for it to green up, sprayed it, and then Tom just drilled straight into it. And other than in the corners that get a lot of high traffic and where all the water runs to, I mean, look at this. It's February and it's already the length of my hand. And I suspect if I put a I've probably ripped them rather than pulled them, but really good root structure on the plants. And yeah, we're just trying not to disturb the ground too much. We've done exactly the same with the wheat at home, which we'll see in a bit. And I'm really happy. If we had ploughed this, we would never be travelling on it in February. Absolutely no chance. So it's allowing us to get on the ground a bit quicker, having not used the plough. And saved a lot of time, money and diesel in the process. But let's get on and spread that one. Wipe my feet before getting in my nice new mat. Right, just going around the headland of the second field. I don't know if you can see out the window the fertiliser coming up alongside me. So that's the disc spinning the opposite way round. So we've got it in border mode, which is that symbol there. So it comes right up alongside, which is fairly cool to see. Seems like we've got a couple moles in here. There they are. And basically, for anyone that doesn't know what we're doing, we're effectively doing painting by numbers. So this is marking everywhere we've been. So that's 24 meters across, that blue strip. And it keeps a record here of how many hectares and how much fuel we're using. And then my spreader screen tells me how much I got left in the hopper, the rate we're putting on per hectare, how far open the traps are, if we're in border mode or not. And yeah, tells me everything I need to know. So as I said earlier, I'm going to have to avoid a patch of this ground. So you can see on my headland where I've come round and missed all of that. The great thing about section control is I can drive wherever I want and the spreader will just start and stop itself depending on where I've been. But what I will do is press stop on the box. I'm going to drive up to this tram line and back down. I'm going to follow where I've already been. Down here. You can see all of that I've missed because there's water standing there. You can see it there on the screen. I'm going to come back down through here where I've been. And then marry up with the tram line that I was travelling on, which is this one down here. Press start on my box. Basically that little bit there will spread. How cool is that? Get back on the tram line the other side of the wet spot, and like you can see that it will start spreading in sections. Beautiful. Now I'm sure there'll be people watching that are thinking this is a right faff and what the hell am I doing? But I think it's more important that we get the fertiliser on the areas of the field we can travel on and avoid that one wet spot than it is to just say, well, we're not going in that field until that wet spot dries up. That sat wet last year, and even in that drought we had, that never really dried up. So we're just going to have to be a bit creative with what we do. Tom, I think you missed a bit. Just there. Now back home on the wheat. It's 4 o'clock. It's just starting to get a bit gloomy. Bit of a gloomy day today, but we should get all this done hopefully tonight. There's 50 acres at home here to do. We've got 3 fair sized fields and 3 little ones. If it was all in one block it'd take 20 minutes, but there you are. We're putting on a lighter dose on this. This is having 145 kilos of single top, which is 27% N, so what's that? 40 units of nitrogen. This ground we're on now is, I call it the science ground, it's the farm platform. So yeah, there's 50 acres of Crusoe first wheat here. It's looking really, really good. Again, not ploughed, just ripped up with a cultivator and drilled straight into it, allowing us to travel. I'm sure if we ploughed this, it would be like pudding. 2 years ago it washed out really bad down a gully in this field I'm in. It holds the ground together so much more. And yeah, I'm gonna get a little bit of spread here, and then we'll head back and refill the hopper. I think we need 3 tonne for these fields altogether. This is our biggest field. It's called Great Field. It comes down, this is actually a fair slope here into a gully that runs the opposite way to what I'm travelling, and there's a wet spot on the hill just there, which bizarrely the point below it is the hardest bit of ground in the field. I don't know whether it's just a spring or there's a broken drain or something, but it's the same spot every year, and annoyingly enough a tram line runs right through the middle of it, so I have to go around it. Otherwise we're travelling really, really well. So this is all heavy clay ground here, proper Devon ground. But we are travelling. We're painting by numbers. I've got my screens one way around. There's the gully I was on about. I wouldn't even know it was there this year. A couple of years ago that was completely washed out. We had a river running from the top of the field to the bottom. The spreader's doing a really good job. The calibration factor is 0.3% out from when I set it up, so it adjusts itself on the move with the weigh cells on the machine. And quite often, if like today's quite cold, so the fertiliser won't run down through the spreader quite so well as it would perhaps on a hot day, and it knows that, so it can adjust itself. It can adjust the settings and how wide the holes in the bottom of the spreader open to make sure you are chucking the right amount up on the ground, which is very clever and very helpful, because it takes away a lot of the having to set the thing up and keep adjusting it on the move. Here, this little black line is how far the spreader's open. If I knock myself up a gear, you'll see that will jump up a bit, so it opens it up a bit more because my speed is increased. That's also really handy. So for the bits of ground like I'm on now where it's long straight runs, I can just knock myself up a gear. We're up at about 15k now, and the spreader just like, yeah, that's fine, I'll open myself up a bit more, you carry on, which is awesome. And then we'll come to our headland. Of course, we've done the headland first, which it knows, so we just do a little arc, drop back in our next run. Haven't got to press anything, do anything, just keep her going. I might have found a wet spot. There you are. Get ourselves some fertiliser. This is single top. I'm a bit worried where the knife will be somewhere in there. Like 27% nitrogen with sulphur. Nearly shut you guys in there. Right, so we've just filled in. The spreader knows how much we filled in. You just got to press accept. Tells you to put your ladder up. I'm sure I have. So we'll go and spread a bit more. I've got my main man with me now, Mr. Gus. You stay down there. He loves a tractor ride. No, you can stay down now. Down. Good boy, you stay there. I'm missing his bed, but anywho, right. Let's try and get this done tonight. I did have grand plans of putting the drone in the air tonight, but I'm not going to have time. It's going to be dark in a minute. I'm trying to get this done tonight because I want to wash out the spreader once I finish, because I absolutely hate leaving that with any sort of fertiliser residue on it. Especially now it's the weekend and I won't be here for a couple of days. It's not good practice to leave it dirty. I don't know if you guys can see, the front windscreen is now wet. It's decided to rain. It's not ideal because that tiny little bit of rain that is coming down is making the top of the ground incredibly greasy. You know, the ground is firm. There's a point on this hill that there's a wet spot that comes out halfway down it, and I doubt very much that we're going to be able to get up this. Digging in. We're digging in. Yes, power! That's why I put the front weight on. I know people are probably thinking, why are you adding weight if you're going out on soft ground? Those front tyres need to be helping us out. I've made a decision. The field that is the potential wet one, it's called Poor Field for a reason. I'm not going to go there tonight. It works out that needs 1 bag of fertiliser on its own. So I'm going to do these 2 little ones, wash the spreader out, and then on Monday, we're supposed to have a dry weekend. On Monday I'll do that 1 field. I think that's the best way to do it, because I mean, there's no one here to pull me out if I get stuck at the moment, so can't really go getting stuck. So I'm going to do this one beside me here, which is always dry at the top of the hill, and then we've got one right next to the yard. And that'll be my 2 fields. I'll empty the spreader, which will work out nicely. I can then just spread it out quick, wash the insides and the veins and everything off, leave it till Monday, spread the other field on Monday, and then give it all a proper good wash afterwards. Right, we're in the wash bay. On our home screen of the spreader here, we need to press this button and start. And what that does is open up the bottom of the hopper so the water can go out. So I'm going to go out and wash that now. All the insides, I'll just swill it off a little bit on the outside as well. We'll be good to go home for the weekend. It has taken every ounce of strength I possess to wash that without having to wash the tractor. But it's only going to get dirty again Monday when we do the last field. But the spreader's clean inside, and I did wash the outside of the spreader as well. I couldn't not do that. One thing that does annoy me with that is you can't leave the bottom of the hopper open without the tractor running. So if you want to dig out and wash it like I did, you got to leave the tractor running, which, I don't know, it's not the safest, is it? I put the power shaft in neutral so nothing can turn on, but you can't turn the tractor off with the things open to wash it out. But that's neither here nor there. We got the Fert done, apart from one field today, so I'm happy with that. Me and Gus just going to do a last little check around the cows, and then head home for our tea. So thank you very much for watching. Let me know if you guys have been out with Fert yet. Interested to see how early people manage to get out. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel. Me and John are going away next week in that, to go and buy something new for the farm, which is very exciting. You hopefully get to see that. So make sure you're subscribed if you want to see that. If you give the video a thumbs up, that would also be awesome. And I'll see you guys on another video very soon. Cheerio.
Like a drug that